Now, one of the things I get asked about a lot is how to correctly calibrate the display that I use for editing my images and for getting the best screen to print match. So in this video, I'm going to share a section from my How to Print course where I cover everything that you need to know in about 10 minutes or so. I go through the best settings for editing your still images and for printing, but also the best settings for everyday use. Also, make sure to check out my masterclass community on the school platform with an active forum, classroom, live calls, workshops, and a lot more. This is the link, and I've also added that as a pinned comment at the top of the comment section for this video. So now I'll go through how I calibrate my BenQ SW272U display, which, as I've said, is capable of being hardware calibrated. I'll go through the two calibrations I use. Firstly, the calibration I use when retouching and printing my images, and then the calibration settings I use for day-to-day use of my computer, but not retouching my images or printing. This second calibration is the one I have set for day-to-day use, going through emails, using the internet, writing, watching YouTube videos, and so on. The settings are different, as you'll see, because the second calibration is designed for having the best viewing experience, a nice bright display, plenty of contrast with deep blacks. First of all though, I'll take you through the screen calibration settings I use for my workspace when working on my images. For both of these calibrations, I'll be using the BenQ's own software called Palette Master Ultimate, but the settings I use will transfer to whatever you're using. Okay, so first of all, I have my CALIBRATE Display Pro HL connected to my computer. Now this device is USB-C but comes with a USB adapter so that I can choose which way I want to connect it. Now of course I could plug this directly into my computer, but for no particular reason I've chosen to plug this into the USB built into my display. This will work exactly the same, but the only thing you need to make sure is that you have the correct power setting for that USB port. On my BenQ display, I can go into the menu by pressing the center button on the hotkey puck and then scrolling down to the system menu. Pressing the center button down again and then scrolling to the USB configuration setting. Here you can see that I have it set to 60 Hz. If it was set to the 30 Hz, it wouldn't work. So then I'll open the Palette Master Ultimate software and first of all choose the display. Then I'll go to the Calibrator menu and choose the CALIBRATE Display Pro HL. And after a brief moment, it recognises the device and we're good to go. Now on the right hand side here, we have three options: Colour Calibration, Advanced Colour Adjust, and Validation. I'll choose Colour Calibration, then I click on Start. Now on this next screen we have a summary of what I'm doing and what I'm using. So we're doing a colour calibration and we see the model of the display I'm using and the model of the calibration device. In the main window at the top we have this calibration target menu, and this holds calibration presets depending on what activity you're using the display for. You can see there's presets for photography, web design, video editing, and so on. Now by default, the photography preset is selected and we can see a summary of the target settings that it would calibrate the display to in this section here, but these we don't want. From my experience, these default settings make the display way too bright, the temperature too cool, and it's too contrasty with blacks that have no detail. And I'll explain more of this as we go through the process. So what I'll do is click on Edit Target, but before I do, I'll choose where I want to store this calibration. I can store it as calibration 1, 2, or 3, and these correspond to numbers 1, 2, and 3 on the hotkey puck. So this one I'll have as calibration 1, and then I'll click on Edit Target. On this next page, we can choose the settings we want to calibrate our display to. And first of all, we have the luminance. This is the brightness of the display and it's measured in candela. By default, it's set to 120 candela. And in fact, That's the advice I've heard so many times to calibrate your display to, between 80 and 120 candela. This, for my work environment, is too bright. I've tested a number of different luminance settings, and the one that works best for me is actually 60 candela. And to put that in, I open the menu and choose Custom, and then simply type in 60 in this box here. Most calibration devices have the ability to measure the brightness of the room you're in, and that then would be the number you'd input. However, for me, it always seems, no matter where I was, what room I was in, and what the lighting was like, I always got a reading of 80 candela. And this, for me, for retouching and to give the best screen to print match, was way too high. So I just didn't bother with it. Next, we come to the white point. And if you've seen any of the videos I've shared on my YouTube channel in the past, you'll have seen that I had made recommendations of 5000 Kelvin, then 5600 Kelvin, and so on. However, I'm now settled with one that works best for me and the room I work in, and that's 6000 Kelvin. And the reason for that is the lighting in my room is 6000 Kelvin, the LED light above my head, the light I have in front of me, and also the viewing lamp I use for checking my prints is 6000 Kelvin. So for me, it makes sense to see my images on screen at the same white point as the environment I'll eventually look at them at in print. I input that by going to the menu, choosing daylight temperature, and then changing it to 6000. Then we have gamut, which refers to the color space we're wanting to use. And for this, we're going to go with Adobe RGB. Next, we have the gamma, which we're going to leave at 2.2. Now in Palette Master Ultimate, there is this enhanced gamma calibration, which according to BenQ is good for people who also do quite a bit of black and white printing. So it does a little bit more. Now, as I do like to print black and white, I'm going to use this purely because it's available to me, but don't worry if you don't have it. Also, using it doesn't have an adverse effect on color images. At the time of recording this, we need now to scroll down to an important setting, and that's the black point. By default, it's set to absolute 0, which is the deepest deep black. So black, in fact, there's no detail. So great for a contrasted display when watching YouTube or Netflix, but not when retouching images. Even in the darkest areas of our images, we want to see at least the tiniest glimpse of detail. So rather than absolute 0, I set this to 0.5 candela. So just a touch away from pure black. And I do that by going to the menu, choosing Custom, and there it gives me 0.5 candela. Now these settings I'm going to save as my own preset, so it stops me having to go through these steps each and every time I calibrate my display. To do that, I'll come to the top and give the preset a name. I'll call this one Glyn, Photo and Print, and then just click on Save as Target. Now I've already done this one before, so at the start of the process I could just click to choose it from the Calibration Target menu. But then I click to move forward, and on this page we see a summary of the settings we've added in. I then click on Next, and here we see that checklist I went through in the previous video. In fact, there's actually one more item on the list here, and that's to turn off any screensaver, just in case it kicks in midway through the calibration process. Lower down we have the ICC version, and we can choose version 2 or version 4. Now this relates to the color management module that you're using, which is basically the software you're using, like Photoshop, Lightroom, Affinity, and so on. If you're using modern software and not software that's maybe, 10 years old or so, something like that, the advice from Dr. Chris By is to use version 4. Here we can see the ICC profile name, the one that will be created from these settings, and this is a summary of all the settings. The display, the calibration preset button being 1, the luminance, the white point, the gamut, the gamma, the black point, and the date. So I'll click on Next, and now I'm being instructed to rotate the cover on my CALIBRATE Display Pro HL to reveal the sensor. And when I do, I can then click on Next. Then I place it on the screen over this area in the center. And to make sure the calibration device sits flat on the screen, you can see here I'm being instructed to tilt the screen back slightly. So I'll do that, and then I'll feed the device through the opening in the top of the display hood. I can use this weight here to balance it correctly, which I can squeeze and move along the cable to where I need it. Once in place, I tend to slide the cover closed and press lightly against the cable to hold it in place. Then I click on Next and then Start, and simply let it go through the calibration process, which with this new display having a new chip takes roughly 7 minutes or so. And that's to do the whole calibration process and also the validation check at the end, which I'll explain once this is finished. So once the calibration process is finished, we can then check to see the results. So I'll click on Check Report. I can see here first of all that the calibration has passed and what my target settings were next to what was achieved in the calibration process. So for example, my target luminance value was 60 candela and it achieved 58. White point target was 6000 and it achieved 6040. Black point target was 0.5 candela and it achieved 0.51 candela. So all of those results are definitely acceptable. But the really important part is here, the delta E. That's what this symbol is, and it basically tells us how accurate our display is and how it's performing. A delta E value of 4 and below is considered very good. Below 2 is superb. And you can see here that the results achieved in this calibration show a delta E maximum of 1.28 and with an average of 0.53. So I am very happy with this. The delta E is a good way to keep an eye on how your display is performing because over time, as you'd expect, this number will increase. So it will give you an idea when you might need to consider a replacement. In the PalletMaster Ultimate software, I can save a copy of this report by going to Save Report in the top right, and that's it. Done. So I'll click on Completed. Now, depending on the software and device you're using, that validation process might not be done by default, so you might need to click to perform that once you have calibrated your display. If that is the case, I'd highly recommend that that is a habit you get into. So those are the settings that I use for when I'm editing my images or for wanting to do some printing so that I get the best screen to print match. But now I want to give you an overview of the settings that I use for when I want to have the best possible viewing experience. So if I'm doing emails or going through the internet or maybe watching YouTube videos, Netflix or whatever, these are the settings for the best possible viewing experience because they give me the best punchy kind of look with the most contrast. And the great thing is when you have a hardware calibrated display like the BenQ, for example, you can actually program them both in. So you can very easily switch between one profile and then another depending on what you're doing. So back in the PalletMaster Ultimate software, and the very first screen we come to once we've chosen our display and connected our calibration device, it's this one. You remember I mentioned about the presets we have available and how I consider the photography preset not suitable at all for photography. However, it's perfect for everyday use. The luminance is bright, the white point is set to D65, which is the industry standard for televisions, iPads, smartphones and so on. And the black point is absolute 0. So this means it'll be nice and contrasty with deep blacks. So I'm just going to use those settings. I'll assign these settings to calibration 2 and then click through. So again, using ICC version 4, correctly positioning the calibration device and going through the measurement process. And that's it. Done. Now, the How to Print course that this came from is available on the school platform, either as a standalone course or it's included in the classroom in my masterclass community. And this is the link you need. Right, that's all from me, so I'll catch you in the next video.